In today's lesson, we'll be learning about and practicing renaming improper fractions to mixed numbers, meeting the requirements for TEKS 65C. So let's talk about some things we already know about fractions. We know a fraction has a numerator. And we definitely know a fraction has a denominator. The numerator represents the part or number of parts that we have, while the denominator represents the whole, how many parts there are in the entire item. So for example, if I had a pizza and I sliced it into 8 slices, and I were to represent the number of slices that I ate, let's say I ate 3 of them, then we could say that I ate 3/8 of the pizza. Of the 8 total slices, I ate 3 of them. The part of the whole pizza that I ate was 3 parts out of the 8 total parts. 3/8 would be my fraction, representing the slices of pizza that I ate. We would expect that in a fraction, we would have a smaller numerator than denominator, representing some number of the parts that make up one whole item. And we would typically see fewer parts than there are in the whole thing, and hence the fraction 3/8. 3 parts of all of the 8 possible parts. But what happens when I have a numerator larger than my denominator? I suddenly have more parts represented in my numerator than there are represented in one entire item. And here's what this means. If we use that pizza analogy, one pizza sliced into 8 slices, I ate 3 of them. That fraction would be 3/8. The part of the pizza I ate was 3 slices of the 8 total slices, making up one complete pizza. But now, if I've eaten 12 slices, so those 3 and 9 more, 8 slices would make up one entire pizza. So I must now be into a second pizza, also cut into 8 slices. If I ate all 8 in that first pizza, to have eaten 12 slices means I must have eaten 4 more, which looks like I've eaten one entire pizza and half of another. So I suspect that the improper fraction 12/8 can be renamed to the mixed number of 1/2. They represent the same amount. And let me show you how we do that. So when we have a numerator larger than our denominator, we have an improper fraction, right? Improper. Because a proper fraction would have a smaller numerator than denominator. So an improper fraction needs to be renamed to a mixed number. Now, we already know that a fraction is a division problem. So 12/8 can also be read as 12 divided by 8. And in fact, that's what we're going to do. 12 divided by 8. The denominator always stays outside the house. 12 divided by 8. How many groups of 8 can I make from 1? Or how many times can I subtract 8 from 1? Well, I can't. But how many groups of 8 can I make from 12? The answer looks like 1. 8 times 1 is 8. 12 minus 8 is 4. When I compare, 4 is less than 8, so that's excellent. But when I go to bring down, I notice I have no numbers to bring down. So when renaming an improper fraction to a mixed number, our remainder becomes the numerator of our fraction. And the denominator, or divisor, in our division problem, our original denominator, remains as our denominator in our mixed number. So our mixed number equivalent of 12/8 is 1 and 4/8. One entire group of 8, and then 4 of 8 left over. Now, you'll remember you're always expected to simplify your fractions. And I see right away that both 4 and 8 share the greatest common factor of 4. And when I divide, I have my 1 whole, and then 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 8 divided by 4 is 2, or 1.5. So 12/8 as an improper fraction can be renamed to the equivalent mixed number of 1.5. And if you remember, we had shown 12 slices eaten out of 8 slices in each pizza resulted in 1.5 pizzas. And so we definitely expected our mixed number to be 1.5, and it was. So what if I had the improper fraction of 23/5? Well, once again, this is 23 divided by 5. So 23 divided by 5. How many groups of 5 can I make from 2? Well, I can't. But how many groups of 5 can I make from 23? And it looks like 4. 4 times 5 is 20. 23 minus 20 is 3. 3 is less than 5, so that's excellent. We have no numbers to bring down. So our remainder becomes our numerator. And our divisor, or original denominator, remains as our denominator. So that the mixed number, 4 3/5, is equivalent to our improper fraction of 23/5. If I had 23 parts where 5 parts make a whole thing, then I have 4 whole things and 3 parts left over. 4 3 of 5, or 4 3/5. So let's try one last example. Again, I have an improper fraction where my numerator is larger than my denominator. I read it as a division problem, 15 divided by 7. And in fact, that's exactly what I do. 15 divided by 7. Keeping in mind the denominator always stays outside the house. How many groups of 7 can I make from 1? Well, I can't. But how many groups of 7 can I make from 15? And it looks like 2. 2 times 7 is 14. 15 minus 14 is 1. 1 is less than 7. I have no numbers to bring down. My remainder becomes the numerator in my fraction, and my original denominator, which is now my divisor, remains the denominator in that fraction. So my mixed number equivalent to 15/7 is 2 1/7. 15 parts, where 7 parts make up a whole thing, is equivalent to 2 entire things and 1 part left over. 2 wholes and 1 of 7 parts, or 2 1/7. Let's go ahead and recap this lesson. So we know that a fraction has a numerator over a denominator. We also know that in a proper fraction, the numerator is less than the denominator. If we have a fraction where the numerator is larger than the denominator, that fraction is called an improper fraction. And if we have an improper fraction, we're going to rename it into a mixed number. A mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. In order to rename 12/8 into a mixed number, we do what that fraction says, 12 divided by 8. 12 divided by 8. I can make no groups of 8 from 1, but I can make one group of 8 from 12. 12 minus 8 is 4. My remainder becomes my numerator, and my divisor, which was my original denominator, stays as my denominator. And I have 1 4/8, which I can simplify by dividing both 4 and 8 by their greatest common factor of 4, which gives me the mixed number of 1 1/2. The improper fraction, 12/8, can also be written as the mixed number of 1 1/2.